Hey everyone, Vince here. Many of you guys have been asking for some more balance exercises. So we're going to do a short video today showing you a couple of the basics and some more of the advanced ones. So if you're new to some of the balance exercises, start here. We're going to go through 2 or 3 pretty simple ones, but they're progressive so you can challenge yourself a little bit. And then those of you who've been working with balance for a little while, you can fast forward through the front part of this and get to the final 4 exercises that we do in Qigong to help strengthen and stabilize and improve our balance. Okay, so we're going to start out with some very simple stuff. Let's get our feet shoulder width. Look down at your toes, make sure your feet are relatively parallel. We're going to start out with something very simple. It's called the shift and pivot drill. And we're just going to be shifting the weight and letting the body turn a little bit and then shifting the weight again so that we can free up one side. It becomes very light and empty. We can pick it up and the other side is holding us. That's going to be our weight-bearing leg, okay? So our knees want to be slightly bent. Okay, if you look at the side, I'm bending about that much. If you want to have a chair in front of you so you could lightly put your hands on, that's perfectly fine when you're starting out. Or if there's a wall nearby that you could just rest your hands against, that's okay too. We want to make sure that you're keeping this in your comfort zone so you're not trying to tax yourself and do too much. So again, feet shoulder width, make sure your feet are parallel. Hands can go behind the back if you're not using any support anywhere. And if we look at my room here, I have a window side and a wall side. So instead of talking about left and right, we're going to mirror each other. And if I say go to the window side, we're going to shift to that side. And if we go to the wall side, over here to this side. All right, so starting with a nice tall spine, your eyes are up. Try not to look too much at the computer as you're doing this. You want to look at a point beyond the computer, okay? And we're going to shift the weight over to the window side. Notice I'm picking up the toes of the wall side, and I'm just going to pivot about 15 or 20 degrees. Hips turn, shoulders turn, eyes turn. And then I'm going to place the toes back down and bring about 50% of my weight into that leg, just so I could feel the transfer of weight, and then shift back, pivot the foot back in. All right. Same thing on the other side. We're going to shift to the wall, pivot the toes out to the window, bring the weight into that side, and then come back. Now let's just do that a couple of times. Pivot in, shift to the window, pivot to the wall, shift to the wall. Shift back to the center, bring the toes in, shift the weight to the wall, pivot to the window, bring your weight to the window. Let's do that another time, both sides. Eyes should remain up, spine should be nice and straight. All right, now we're going to shift back over again, but this time, instead of 50% of the weight in the weight-bearing leg, try to bring more than that, maybe 80%. And what you want to do is think about this back foot and feel the heel lifting off the floor. When you get in that position, hold that position so the weight is evenly transmitted throughout the foot, both front to back, left to right. And this foot is just got the back big toe sitting on the ground. Notice how your shoulders feel, how your spine feels. Check where your eyes are. And then shift back to the center. Do the same thing on the other side. Nice tall spine, shift the weight. Bring the weight into the window side leg and just feel that heel come off the floor. Both knees are slightly bent, even the weight-bearing leg. We're not going to straighten any of the joints. And we're just going to do that a few times. Typically when we do this in class, it's about 3 times on each side, and then we change the difficulty level. All right, let's go back over to the window side. All right, now this time 100% of your weight is going to go into the weight-bearing leg. Find that point where Your heel is off the floor. You're nice and straight from the crown of your head down to the arch of your foot. And without moving the shoulders or any other part of the body, I want you to just slowly pick that foot up and hold it about a half an inch above the floor, then put it back down. Same thing on the other side. Shift and pivot. Slowly bring that 100% of weight into that leg. Find that balance point, and then release any residual tension in this leg so you can just pick it up and then drop it back down. Again, this is the way we challenge ourselves progressively, giving ourselves a little bit more to do every time. And what this does is it helps several areas. You build up some strength in your ankles and knees and hips. You wake up those neurosensors in your feet that kind of talk to the brain, tell the brain, hey, this person's walking. We need to make some minor adjustments. That's why the toes are going, the ankle's going a little bit. It's all communication from your brain down to your feet. And then the final thing it does is it gives you the confidence. After a while, when you can do this without thinking about it, without feeling like you're struggling, it gives you the confidence to be able to move easily, whether you're walking, running, going up or down stairs. That's the biggest problem as we get older. It's not so much that we can't move, it's we're afraid of not being able to move well. And if you have a fear of falling, guess what? You're going to fall. All right, we'll make that the last one. Settle back in. Good. All right, give that a little shake out. We got one or two more that we're going to play with. This next one is a simple drill. Is again shifting back and forth, but we're not going to do the pivot. We're just going to shift so that we can pick up the empty leg. So I'm going to shift my weight over to the wall, put my hands out with the palms facing the floor, right around just above the waist area. And what I want to do is be able to pick the knee up and touch that hand and come back down. Now, if that's a challenge, then put your hand down lower and see if you can come there, all right? And if that's a challenge, then just hold the hand, pick up the foot maybe an inch or so off the floor, and then come back down. Whatever works better for you, okay? Now, let's shift to the window side. Same thing, palms facing the floor, pick up that other knee, and back down. If you're struggling on any of these things, first thing you want to do is check your posture. Make sure your eyes are up, you're focused on something a distance away, your spine is nice and tall, and you're giving your body time to shift that weight. You don't have to shift and pick up that leg right away. Settle into that posture, then pick the knee up, bring it back down. Settle, bring it back down. Let's do one more. All right, good. Shake that one out. Now, all of these exercises, you want to try to do them at least 3 times on each side. And if you can do sets of 3, so 3, 6, 9, whatever you're comfortable with. The more you can do of this a couple of times during the day, you're going to see a big difference in balance. All right, now for our last one, we're going to do something very classic called Great Crane Spreads Her Wings. And again, this is very progressive. We're going to shift the weight to one side. I'm shifting over to the window. Notice how my hands come out as I shift over. That kind of gives me a little bit of a balance thing. And then once I'm comfortable, I'm going to pick the knee up a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, and come back down. As I come down, the hands come down with it. And then I shift over again, pick up the foot a little bit, same height as I did the first time, and back down. Now, progressively, each time we do this, the hands are going to come up a little higher, and the knee is going to come up a little higher. But we're also going to hold it a little bit longer. The ultimate goal of this exercise is to be able to get your hands all the way overhead and your knee up as high as you can. If you're struggling at any point, make that your limit for a while. So in other words, if you can get to here And that's really kind of a struggle. Just drop down a little bit where you're more comfortable and keep repeating that until you build up strength, get that confidence back. All right, let's do a couple more. Once you get used to this and the transfer of weight and how it feels, you can do it a little faster, a little smoother. But again, keep it in your own personal safety zone. If you start falling, right, if you start coming down real quick, then you want to take things and slow it down a notch. It means you went a little bit too fast and your weight wasn't really in the right spot when you started. Long, slow, deep breathing. Nobody wants to hold their breath. And you can see sometimes we get challenged even though we've been doing this for years. All it takes is a minor distraction. All right, good. Shake this out a little bit, shake out the legs. So there's 3 simple exercises I would advise you to start with if you're new to balance work. Give your body time to get caught up, all right? Build up the strength in the legs, build up the strength in the abs and the lower back. Get yourself comfortable with how that weight transfer is. That's critical, especially when we start doing Tai Chi and you've got to turn and move. You want to be able to keep that spine nice and tall, the eyes up. And that way you can pick up the foot, the arms, do whatever you have to do with a lot of confidence and grace. All right, see you guys later. For the rest of you, go ahead and fast forward to the next part. All right, guys, so continuing on with a little more advanced work on balance. I'm going to give you 4 exercises that we do that are Qigong exercises, but they do challenge your balance a little bit. And I'm going to turn around because there's really not a lot to see in the front. I'm going to turn around so when we start talking about this, my left and right will be the same as your left and right. There are some ways that we can modify these exercises, so pay attention to how I describe it and how we follow through with it. All right, here we go. Feet shoulder width, nice tall spine. You want to put your index finger or your middle finger and thumb together. This makes what they call the dragon. And this exercise is called Twin Dragons Emerge from the Sea. And what we're going to do is go back to our simple shift and pivot drill. We're going to shift over to the left, pivot the body and the feet to the right, or the right foot anyway. Bring your dragons up, and then as you shift the weight into that front leg, push the dragons behind and focus on that back, nice straight back, nice upward stare, and then shift back to the center, float to the other side, the left side, shift the weight into the left leg, and back. Remember, there's no hurry in any of this. We want to feel what the feet are feeling. We want to be aware of what the feet are feeling, the knee, the hip, the spine, how the body reacts to this transfer of weight and making one side full and the other side empty. Again, 3 to 6 times on each side. If you can do more, that's great, but don't overdo it. Now, keep your shift and pivot going. We're going to change what's happening with the arms. As I shift and pivot, the arms come over palm to palm. And right now, I just want you to take the right leg, place it behind, and shift into that nice tall posture in what we call prayer position. I just bring the hands down by the sternum, eyes are up, spine is straight. 90% of my weight is in that front leg. The back leg is just there to stabilize me, okay? Then we go back, shift to the other side, bring that foot behind, and drop the prayer position. Feel the transfer of the weight, feel how comfortable that is. I'm a little weak on my left side today, so we're finding a few challenges, and that can be something that happens from day to day. All right, now the full exercise is to drop down. How far down you drop is not important. If you're uncomfortable dropping down, then don't do it. But I'm going to step behind. Like I say, most of that weight is still in the front leg. I'm dropping down, coming back up, shift and pivot to the other side. Step behind when I'm ready. Be mindful of how this affects your knees and hips. And again, most of that back foot is just stabilizing me so I can move up and down. It's actually a little bit easier than just standing upright and putting the foot behind. All right, we'll make that the last one. Now, this next exercise is called the Old Sage Points the Way. And what you're going to do here is bring your arms out to the right side, and we're going to make a nice, slow, big circle. Turning the torso a little bit, bringing the arms up overhead, back to our starting point. Now, we're going to take the arms and bring it to the left side, and that means all our weight's going to come to the left side. But notice my chin, it turns so I can see this hand. I'm looking over the shoulder. My fingers are pointing the way. This leg is empty, so I should be able to move it. And what I'm going to do is bring it behind, drop down, come up. And then the next time I go the opposite direction. Now again, if you don't want to drop down, that's fine. Just turn so you're looking over your shoulder, bring the foot behind, come back, and then come back over here. Back to the right side. Shift across. Again, give yourself time to feel that weight transfer. Step behind, come back up. Notice through all of this, my eyes aren't looking at the floor. I'm looking out, looking over my pointed fingers. Big breath as the hands come over. Once you get used to this, you get comfortable with the movement. This will flow really very nicely. It's a nice Qigong form. Old Sage Points the Way. All right, good. Now for the last exercise, this one's called the Lion Plays with the Ball. A lot of shifting and pivoting again, but a little bit different. I'm going to turn my body, and as I turn my body and shift my weight to the right side, I'm going to pivot the toes in on that right foot so I can very comfortably kind of face it at an angle towards the left. All my weight drops into my right leg. Spine is tall, eyes are up. I'm going to bring the right hand up so I can hold my energy ball. This hand is on the top, this hand is on the bottom. Once my weight is all in the right leg, when I'm comfortable, I pick up the left leg, the left arm, turn the palms out, hold that position, and then take a step and push. And then I'm just going to come back and pivot to the other side. Now the left leg is holding the weight, left arm is high, right arm is low, and I'm going to lift the right side. Hold the palms, and then take your step and go to the other side. Right hand high, right leg holding the weight. Bend the knee a little bit. Just let your tailbone drop. Oops. Pick up the other side. Take a step. This is a lot harder to do when you're talking. So hopefully you guys aren't talking, you're just doing. Let's do a few of those nice and quiet. As you're standing there, think about your shoulders. Your shoulders should be down. Spine should be tall. Eyes should be up. So while you're standing here, you can make a little adjustment. Lower the shoulders. Think about the spine. Where's your focus with your eyes? It should be out at the horizon. Take a step and press. All right, shake that one out a little bit. All right, guys, thank you. This is just a short little video, kind of give those who want it a little bit of chance to play around with some balance work. You can go very rudimentary or you can go a little more challenging. And you can make each one of those exercises more challenging by lifting a little higher, moving a little differently, okay? All right, have a great rest of your time. Go through the rest of the videos on the website. Have some fun. Take care.